Hi everyone. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at two specimens, and we're going to do an example with a weak D, or you may hear DU, and that was an older term that was utilized, and most of the time now you're going to hear weak D. And there are a couple instances where you would do a weak D test. You're not going to typically do it on a regular adult patient, on your daily work. Where you would perform it is on a baby, a newborn, a cord blood. Okay, it's important to do a DU there to determine whether the mother would need RhoGAM. And the other instance you would be doing a DU would be on donor units. Okay, if a donor unit is DU positive, that unit should be labeled positive. Right, so I'm going to label my tubes here, and we're just going to do a regular ABO and RH on these two specimens here. And I have two specimens. Okay, and let me put my gloves on and get ready for this. Okay, so the way we label these, remember, capital A, capital B, capital D. We'll do our capital C for our RH control, a lowercase a1, a lowercase b, and then our patient tube. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an H on all of these tubes for my one patient so I can keep those straight. I don't want to get my patients mixed up because we're going to be looking at two patients together today. So slide those to the edge, put them in my rack, and then we'll get tubes here. Capital A, capital B, capital D, C for our RH control, A1, lowercase b, patient. I'm going to put C's, okay, to designate this one. Feedback. All right. As we go across here, get my reagents, nice little mix. 1 drop of our anti-A in our A tubes. This is for our front type on these patients. Anti-B. Here's our anti-D we're going to add. Here's our control. Now onto our back type, we have our A1 cells. Remember, we really want to make sure these are mixed well since it's a cellular reagent. 1 drop into each of our corresponding tubes. And then 1 drop into our B. And I was already prepared and ready to go, and because it's a habit that I make a patient tube for my cell suspension when I set up my tubes, I went ahead and did label that even though I already had it ready here. That's okay. We're just ahead of the game. So I'm going to take my cell suspension and I'll put 1 drop into my front type, my A, my B, my D, and my control. Get some plasma here, and we'll put 2 drop into our back type. 2 drops, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. We'll set up these ones, mix up that cell suspension. 1 drop into A, B, D, and C. Very good. Now we'll put some plasma into our 2 drops in there. Excellent. All right, now we're going to put them in our centrifuge. 15 to 20 seconds, and we'll be back to read. Okay, we're back now to read. I have my specimens from the Serifuge. We're going to use our agglutination viewer here, and I have my sheets right here in front of me to record the results for both patients. So we're going to do patient H first. We're going to pull this out. We're going to use our agglutination viewer. And remember, this viewer is designed that you want to look at the reflection in the mirror. So that's magnifying. That helps you see the reaction so much better. And so for our patient H, our A cell's negative, so we'll record that on here. Take a look at our B, and that just streams right off of there. Shake, tilt. Okay, it's negative as well. Reaction. We'll look at our D. Shake and tilt. And I'll tilt that for you, and you can see it. And that's just streaming right off of there. Really nice negative there. Okay, for our D, write that down. Our D control, or our RH control. Again, negative. Put that. We'll move on to our back type. And very nice 4+ reaction there. Okay. 4+. And another, which is what we would expect. Another 4+ reaction. Okay. So we'll put that there. We'll look at this. Okay. And our patient's type, since we have our anti-A and our anti-B did not react with the patient's cells, that front type appears to be O. And just as we expected, because the patient doesn't have any antigens on their red blood cells for, the AB and O grouping, they made the antibodies to A and B cells. So we're going to put the patient type as an O. Very good. And now we're actually going to carry our Ds through AHG phase, so we can determine. We're going to do that week D test. Okay. So let's read our other patient here. This is patient C, and you can see our worksheet there has C on it. We're going to look at this, and we have a nice 4+ reaction for A. And we have a nice negative reaction for B. We want to tilt it, see that streaming off of there. Looks good. We'll go ahead and look at our D. And again, we have a negative reaction here. Okay. So we'll just sit that in our rack for now. Whoops. Negative in there. And here's our control. D control or RH control. Nice negative reaction. Our back type. So we had a 4+ reaction for A. We're going to look at our A cells. Since the patient has A antigen on their cells, we're going to expect no reaction. Okay, they should not have an antibody against the A cells. And very good. That looks good. That's negative. I'll put that in there. But since they're A, we do expect them to have antibodies to B. And there we go. We get a nice 3+ reaction there. So we'll put 3+ in there. And this patient is typing as a front type A. And now we're going to move to our D. We're going to perform the week D test. And I have my incubator on. So we're going to put our D and our D control for both of those specimens back here in our incubator. Okay. Set our timer for 20 minutes. And we'll be back. Okay, time's up. We're going to get our tubes from the incubator, put them 1 and 2 into our holder here, put them into the Serifuge, 15 to 20 seconds. We'll be right back. Okay, our tubes are out of the Serifuge. We're going to go ahead and read these, and we're going to read H first. This is our H patient. our agglutination viewer. Make sure you have a good view of that. Shake, shake and tilt. These are streaming right off of there. Looks pretty good. Shake and tilt, and again, that's a nice stream of cells off there for negative reactions. So I'll record those for H, because remember, I am working on 2 patients at the same time, and I do not want to mess those up. So I'm going to go ahead and just right here at 37, I'm going to put a negative. This would have been for my screen, but we're using this for a week D today, so I'll just write that in there. Okay. That looks good. Here's our other one. Here's our patient C. We're going to shake and tilt and shake and tilt. And again, those cells are just streaming right off of there. Those are nice negative reactions. Shake and tilt. Looks really good. All right, next step. So we incubated at 37, and now we wash and do our AHG. So I'm going to go ahead and put those into my cell washer, and we'll come back and add AHG. Okay, we're back with our cells from the cell washer. We're going to add our AHG, our anti-IgG, and C3d, or our Coombs, our anti-human globulin. Has a couple different words. We have to get used to hearing those. So 2 drops here, 2 drops here, around here 2 drops, and 2 more drops. So give us a shake, make sure they're mixed really well, so you can see our reactions. Okay. Off to the centrifuge, and we'll be right back. Okay, we have our tubes out of the centrifuge. We added our AHG. We're going to go ahead and we're going to read our D for our patient H. And if we shake that, you can see, oh, we have some nice clumps now. So this tube, this is our D tube, that was negative at both the other phases, immediate spin 37. With the AHG, we now have clumps. So this is now a positive reaction that we're going to record over here on our sheet. So at AHG, we're going to do that. I'd probably go with a 2+ on that one. So 2+. But let's check our control, and our control needs to be negative. Okay, and very good. There's negative in that control. So we'll record that. Let's go ahead and check our C, and both of these are coming off completely negative. So our C patient, completely negative here. Okay. And since we did AHG or Coombs, we have to use our check cells on our negative tubes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add just our C. And I'm going to leave this tube in here just as a balance. We're going to pop that into the centrifuge. Okay, very good. Now we're back. And we're going to read our check cells, make sure these are positive. And oh, it's not coming up very strong with my check cell. I'll double check that one. Let's see what this one looks like. We may have to add one more drop. That's our D. That's what we got positive. We'll go ahead and move that over there. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's a really nice one there. These ones here are a little weaker. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to recentrifuge that with one extra little check cell in here. Make sure that comes up positive. Okay. Okay, let's look at these again and see if we get a better reaction now. And we can get, there we go, positive reaction on that. We're getting some positive check cells there. So those come off. Now let's take a look here at our patients. So we'll put 2+ there. And our check cells, we don't test there. 2+ there. Now when we take a look here at our H patient, this is our H, Okay, take a look at that. Make sure you can see that. Get a good image of it. Okay. So we did our week D, and at AHG, it ended up coming up positive. So we're going to put a 2+ in there. Our control was not tested. We didn't need that for our week D tube. Now for our D control, that was negative, remained negative, and then we got a 2+ for that control. These are the check cells here. Check cells. Okay. Sorry. That C is our check cells. So now our RH interpretation on this, because our week D was positive, it came up positive. Okay. We are going to interpret this as RH positive. Okay. So this patient is O positive. Okay. That week D came up, so we want them to be O positive. Okay. Now we'll take a look at our other patient that we worked on. Oh, let me pull that up. And there it is. It took a minute. So it had a true negative. Our week D was negative. Sorry. That was negative. Our control was negative. And then our check cells came up there. So this patient, our interpretation is negative, and they are a true A negative individual. And I'll post another one where we talk a little bit about why, again, it's important for that week D, why we need to know that. Thanks so much. Signing off.